Senador Richard Gordon, hindi ako titiklop laban sa korupsyon. Pilit idinadawit sila Presidente Duterte at Senador Bongo sa anomalya sa PHARMALLY deal. Tungayan ang buong detalye. At kapag hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, subscribe na pang tuloy-tuloy ang ating talakayan.
To head start already. I know you've been very busy with the hearings, 14 hearings so far. And let's start first with this. Lincoln Ong, Morhit Dargani, the two officials of PHARMALLY, have already said, just file cases against us. We have not yet been convicted. Bakit kami nasa kulungan? We don't know where the documents are that the Senate is asking for. Senator, is the Senate overreaching its powers at this point?
No, in fact, we're very kind to them. They have been lying from day one. And they don't really care whether we find out because they know they're guilty. Guilty na sila. Tumatakas, hindi nagsasalita. They don't talk about how can a corporate secretary like Dargani not know where the papers are, and how can they not tell us the cost of goods sold? And they're relying on their strength with the palace. Can you imagine? They even ran for 3 weeks and then we caught them where? In the capital of the president, Davao City. And they have the temerity to say, the administration had the temerity to say that they cooperated with us because Davao is an international airport. Excuse me, we caught them inside the plane. Inside the plane, that means they were already out of customs and immigration. And they were caught inside the plane. And when they got out, Dargani again attempted to run until he was told, we will put you in handcuffs in submission. You know, these people feel that they're beyond the law. The amount of money that they took at a time of pandemic is just abominable. It's unbelievable. And the cuddling that they have been given, protected by the president, even at the very beginning. COA was attacked by the president right away, even before our investigation. And in fact, when we started, we said, don't attack COA. Then they started attacking the Senate. The Senate, it's the Senate's duty to investigate. And who is stopping us? The office of the president. They don't want the cabinet members to appear. They don't want the officials to appear. And who is prolonging this agony? It is the office of the president. We have to, do all kinds of things like going through the budget of the DBM, going to the budget of BIR and customs, and we ask them, you have to give us the documents. And they've been taking their time, and we've been, well, fine. If you take your time, these people will go to jail. How come Mr. Lau is allowed to go out and not even be arrested? I mean, the president knows that this guy is the key to all this. He's the mother, if I will call him a mother, he is the mother of this tyranny and of this stealing. And yet, he's allowed to go out. We have to do it ourselves. The Senate has to arrogate upon itself to protect the Senate as an institution, that we have to make sure that we cannot just be, denied with impunity. The law favors us. It says nobody can deny it to us. Can you imagine? Why would they not want to tell us? If they have nothing to hide, it's a simple matter of showing the documents, the cost of goods sold. They have to tell us where the money came from. And they cannot even tell us where did the money of Yang came from, DCLA.
Okay, Senator, yeah, I'm not sorry to interrupt, but if PHARMALLY refuses to surrender these documents, of course, these documents will fill in the gaps in terms of goods sold, taxes paid. Is there any other way for the Senate to source these documents?
Quod erat demonstradum. It has already been demonstrated that the BIR, and by our expert and by ourselves, the hardworking people of the Blue Ribbon Committee, we have already proven that they have not paid their taxes. For God's sake, Michael Yang has not paid his taxes. Lincoln Ong has not paid his taxes. Dargani has not paid his taxes. They give gifts. They violate corporate rules. They don't even pay documentary stamp tax for a gift like a Lamborghini. And it's not even recorded in the corporate accounts. They violated every rule that is there. When they were allowed to import without going through the proper qualifications of 3 years and to making sure that they can do it. Because that was key. Where did the money come from to buy all these materials that they're now selling, that they've sold to the government in violation of the procurement law.
Oo.
Clearly.
Before I go to Michael Yang in detail, can Malacanang still deny that it knows about the Pharmally deal, considering you've exposed that the lawyer of the Dargani siblings is Attorney Darrell Valles, who actually worked with the office of the president at one point?
Yes, he was with the office of the president in the office of Senator Go, then SAP. And all these people, what is the common denominator? They were all appointed by the president. All of them came from Davao. All of them worked at some time or another with the president, either as in the office of the mayor or the vice president. All of them campaigned for the president. All of them worked with Senator Go. And these are known henchmen of the president. And look at the hallmark. How can Malacanang deny that they appointed Lau? And then afterwards, they tried to appoint Lau. He had applied for the ombudsman to cover his tracks. And when he balked, he went out, and who got appointed? His assistant, Mr. Leong, who also worked for the president, who also worked in the DBM, in this so-called division that's practically independent, working in the dark, and he was appointed deputy ombudsman.
Now, Senator Gordon, can Senator Bongo, I mean, you just said that actually Attorney Valles was working under Senator Bongo's office at one point. Is that correct? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, and what is key about that Karen, is that he denied at first.
Yeah.
He denied. And then when we accosted him the second time, he finally said, yes, I work in Malacanang. I resigned in March. And that's what that was.
So can Senator Bongo feign ignorance in terms of the Pharmally deal, or at this point, has the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee seen a connection to Senator Bongo's possible involvement in the Pharmally deals?
Well, from day one, he's always been very defensive.
Okay.
After all, remember the frigate expose? When Lau again intervened and Bongo covered for him? And Lau said, it is part of my duties to do this. Like, what the hell is he doing investigating the Philippine Navy and trying to find out what's going on? And, you know, all these things are hallmarks. When Lau was placed, he's obviously under protection. When Lau was placed in this housing authority, people rose up in arms because of his corruption. And then all of a sudden, he's appointed to the PSDBM. He was appointed at HLURB, and there were complaints against him. And you can see that the fingerprints, the hallmarks of Malacanang are over. The lawyer is now from Malacanang, you know, and they refuse. The president has been protecting them from day one, attacking institutions of the government, COA, the Senate, senators individually and personally. You know, we don't go down to the gutter with the president. He wants to go down there, he can swim in the gutter for a week here. But we are not going to be dragged down there. We're not going to be distracted. And we're not going to be distracted by personal acrimonious attacks like ad hominems, because that is the refuge of this scoundrel.
Okay, but I'm curious, have you seen a connection, Senator Gordon, in the hearings essentially that connect formally to Senator Bongo directly, other than the lawyer?
Well, we're not going to go by guilt by association. But the point is, there is a lot of series of circumstances. First, they were denying that Lau was not there, but Lau himself said he was with the office of the president of SAP. I'm not saying Bongo should be part of it, but certainly nobody can get appointed in the office of the president without the fingerprints and the recommendation of Senator Bongo. That he cannot deny.
Okay, now moving on quickly before I move on to Michael Yang, has the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee ever thought of inviting Senator Bongo, asking to speak to him? I mean, strangely, considering he is the head of the Health Committee in the Senate, he's not very active in investigating the Pharmally deal, which involves medical supplies.
Well, in fact, he denied it right away. I have nothing to do with that. And we let him out of courtesy to a fellow senator. It's up to him. If he feels that he is being alluded to, he can always come out, and he did. And we answered him. Just because these people are his henchmen, fine. If you want to go on and argue with us in the Blue Ribbon Committee, he can go ahead and do that. But, you know, you cannot just say simple denials. in the face of the overwhelming evidence. Actually, Karen, we have already connected the dots. And what we want to do is protect the Senate and not allow these people who act with impunity in the monies of the people, in stealing the money of the people, in getting the protection of no less than the president. We are not going to allow that. It is good and educational for the people to know that their people who elected are doing their jobs, and also the people that they elected, they were duped. They were duped. Kala nila, this is the savior. You know, a whiff of corruption, I'll go after you. You know, we'll get rid of drugs in 3 to 6 months. You know, there's a long line of promises that never come through. And it's all, you know, smoke of, smoking glasses and mirrors. So to my mind, I'm not after that. I categorically do not deny that we are investigating, not because the president is involved, not because Senator Bongo is involved, but let the cards fall where they may. As we open this investigation, more things are coming out of the woodwork. Questions have to be asked. Bakit sila hanggang ngayon nakakawala? And if you look at the track record of this government, they hit Arceo left and right. They hate the NPA. They hate the communists. And yet, we have been accused of coddling them in this so-called committee by PRRD. And yet, Arceo, for example, has been threatening to expose the president in drugs. I did not kowtow to that. I did not agree to that. And yet, the president should go after him. He's been out for a long time. After all, he sold 1,000 AK-47s to the communists. And now why is he out? Same thing with Fajardo, number 2 in PDEA. He was appointed there in PDEA. And when we investigated the drug, you know, unfortunately, the blue ribbon is always in the middle of things, and we're unmasking these people. Like the way we unmasked Albayalde and now Fajardo. Fajardo is out on the lam and it's not been captured.
Lumalabas po ba, Senator Gordon, tatagalugin ko po ito, na ang sinasabi po ninyo, namimili ang Pangulong Duterte kung sino po ang hakabulin, titirahin, o protektahan. Pinipili po niya, binanggit po ninyo mga pangalan na tinatanong nga ninyo, ba't di yun? Ba't di nyo pa hinuli yun?
Yun nga marami naman talaga eh. Alam mo, tingnan mo, yesterday, the mayor of Albarca was assassinated in Basilan by 4 motorcycle riding gunmen. He is supposed to be a humanitarian. Everybody liked it. That's what the papers say. I don't know him personally. And yet, there have been 6,000 killings on board motorcycles that remain unsolved. Hardly is there anything being done. So, you know, the people have a right. Dapat pagtanggol ng Pangulo ang mga pinapatay. Kaya kami sa office sa Blue Ribbon Committee, ang trabaho namin, ipagtanggol ang sa katiwalian ang mga taong ito at napatunayan na namin yan. Hindi naman nakakalusot yung mga taong nagwawalang ya, katulad ng dalawa sa Bureau of Immigration. Katulad ni Faeldon, sino ba nag-expose ng GCTA? Pero makakawala na si Sanchez, si Simple na tayo. Kung di namin in-expose yun, lahat yan appointed ng Pangulo. Ngayon, ang issue naman, totoo bang namatay itong si Nuesca? Tuloy, nagkakaroon ng duda dahil namatay sila JVC Pustian, sinunog na lang, hindi natin alam kung sila yan. Ang daming issue. Ito lang pinakamalaki ngayon.
Okay, all right. So Senator, marami pong issue, baka hindi po masundan ng marami nating viewers all these names. Of course, you and I are quite familiar with these names being in the news. Pero balikan po natin ang formally panandalian.
Yes.
Si Michael Yang po, the Senate has ordered a warrant of arrest against Michael Yang. That's correct, right? And why is that not, has that been enforced, Senator?
We are a Senate committee. The only arm that we have ay yung mabuti at mahusay na pagsilbi ng aming OSAA. This is the general arms. They're supposed to keep order in the Senate pag kami magulo. And yet, we have had to use them because the arm of the government is not helping us. Hindi kami natutulungan. Michael Yang has violated yung kanyang visa. Imagine this guy got a visa. That's one of the things I intend to do. At talagang higpitan namin ang pagbibigay ng visa. Nagbigay lang ng $50,000 kahit na hindi naman nagbayad ng tax from 2009. Lumalabas, sinaamin niya, nagbayad lang siya ng tax ng 2018. Naging citizen na siya. But teka muna, ngayon involved siya. Kahit na nagsisinungaling siya na hindi raw siya kasama dito. Samantala sabi niya, doon na ako, nung pinakilala ko lang siya sa Pangulo, itong PHARMALLY. Pagkatapos later on, nasupalpal siya nitong mga taong nga niya. Nagtrabaho sa kanya, itong si Si Lincoln.
Oo. Pwede po ba?
Malaki rin itong suwan na nagtrabaho rin sa kanya. Si
Senator, quickly
Tagani.
lang. Pwede po bang bawiin ang Filipino citizenship na ibinigay kay Michael Yang?
He's not a
Sa anong
Filipino
paraan
citizen.
po?
Mas
Go
madali
ahead.
nga eh. He is just a permanent resident.
Okay.
And he can be removed because di siya nagbabayad ng tax at di wala tayong reciprocity with China. Pwede bang magkaroon ng permanent residency ang Pilipino sa China? No. Dito, sikat siya. Pagka nakausap niya at may cash sunduan, ang tingin ko dyan, nabigyan siya ng permanent residency visa. Ngayon, nangungulimbat siya sa ating bayan, hindi hinuhuli. Pinagmamalaki niya, dito lang ako. Anong naandyan ka? Pakita ka, pumunta ka doon, huhulihin ka namin. Hulihin dapat yan sapagkat dapat magpaliwanag sa diretsya. Hindi siya makapagsalita. Bakit? Natatakot siya, huli palagi eh. I'm not saying this idly. Ang nagsuplong sa kanya, si Lincoln Ong na binabayaran niya ng 80,000. Pero si Lincoln Ong, nagkaroon na mga kotseng mamahalin.
So, as Senator, what action can be taken? Because Michael Yang seems to be untouchable.
Well, I don't think anybody is untouchable. We proved that with Dargani. Kala nila makakatakas sila doon sa Davao City. Makaka-charter sila ng plane. By the way, hindi 1.8 million ang binayad na, 2.5 million. Yun ang halaga. Ang range ng 1.8 million to 2.5 million. Imagine, nakakabili ka nga naman ng Lamborghini, binibigyan mo sa kapatid mo nang walang bayad ng tax, eh di marami kang pera at bigla kang bibigyan ng isang kaibigan mo na hindi mo masyadong kilala at pagkatapos sasakay ka doon sa... Siyempre, sasabihin, dito tayo sa Davao, walang uhuli sa atin. O, ano nahuli? Nahuli sila.
Oo. Okay. Now, both Lincoln Ong and Michael Yang have brought complaints before the Supreme Court citing violation of their constitutional rights, questioning the manner of how the hearings were conducted, saying the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee was high-handed and oppressive. So I'm curious where that is now, because I know that the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, you've also brought your own concerns with the Supreme Court on the president ordering his cabinet officials not to show up in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearings.
We have challenged that and we
Yeah.
will win that one. I'm pretty sure we will because ang dami ng decided cases dyan. Pero yung kay Lincoln Ong, high-handed, we are on television. I mean, the bigness of the Senate from the Senate President, everybody has been asking them questions except their allies. Ang sasabihin ko lang sa inyo, nasa batas yan. All investigations relating to malfeasance, misfeasance, nonfeasance, and in the interest of the public, anything about graft and corruption, nepotism, that is well within our... Anong manner? Did we not jail Captain Faeldon for 6 months in Pasay City Jail? Did we not jail Colonel Baloyo? Kundi pa namin hinuli yan, wala. Pagkatapos, nakakatakot, and the media should look into this, paano nadidismiss yung mga kaso na makakakawala, samantalang halimbawa, don't want to go to another issue, but ang dami kasi eh.
Oo, ito muna tayo, sir.
Sige dyan tayo. Pero masasabi ko may habit may habit.
So you see a clear pattern. Pero balikan po natin itong si Michael Yang. You've exposed in the Senate, you said he's lied about his businesses. You exposed that in 1999, Yang has never filed for income tax. In 2008, he decides to file. And I think he's only paid something, am I correct? 17,000? Did you quote that number? But it was a very small amount.
15,000 according to him.
Yes, 15 or 50?
No. He did not pay taxes. He paid $50,000 to get his permanent resident visa. And he has not said anything that he has paid anything except sabi niya, nagbabayad daw yung mga korporasyon niya. You know, taxes in this country from whatever source or whatever kind, magbabayad ka. Now, tanongin mo siya, from 1999, nagtrabaho siya sa, sinasabi niya, bumibisita na ako. Sino nagbabayad ng kanyang pamumuhay doon sa Davao from 1999 up to 2018, doon lang siya nagsimula magbayad.
Okay.
At paano siya nagkaroon ng mga building?
Yeah.
Kaya nga, kailangan buksan yan dahil sinasabi may involvement siya sa drugs. Baka nagma-money laundering.
So ang tanong ko, Senator Gordon, have you established in the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearings that he really owns homes in Forbes Park?
No, he
Kanya
doesn't
po
own.
talaga yun?
We have established that he pays
Oo.
500,000, his corporation pays 500,000 a month, and he even denied that he lives there. Ang utos siya sa mga katulong, pag magbibigay na sa PINA, huwag yung papayagan. 2 beses, nahuli namin, may padala doon sa kanyang asawa, di umano, a certain
Oo.
Nancy. Nahuli namin, doon lang siya lumabas. Doon lumabas siya, sabi niya, wala, doon ako, hindi ako tatago. Tapos nung pagdating niya, nagsinungaling na naman doon sa pagkakaugnayan niya sa PHARMALLY. Tapos nagsinungaling na naman na siya pala ay nagbibigay ng pera sa PHARMALLY, nagpapakilala ng mga supplier. Napakadali naman, negosyante yan. Galing na sa mukha ng presidente nagsalita Kung bibigyan ang sabi niya, talagang pagador yan Talagang yan ang negosyo niya, magninegosyo siya. So saan nahuli ang isda? Di ba sa bibig?
You're clearly establishing, and the president himself in several instances has said, kala ko gusto natin ng foreign investors. Si Michael Yang, foreign investor, and ginaganito ng Senado. I'm rephrasing it, but it was in this thought. But just going back to the homes, could it be possible he owns those homes and he owns that home and is pretending to rent the home?
No, we have I can only go by the evidence.
Okay.
We will be going beyond the evidence because may rental. Ang nakakatawa si Rose Nonolim nakasama sa lahat. Saan kumuha ng pera yan? Sa sinasabi niya, asawa niya. Pero saan kinuha ng asawa niya yung pera? At ba't hindi bumabalik? Nasa Dubai. At nililink rin yan sa drugs. Maybe hindi siya kasama. Maybe kasama siya. Pero definitely, iba-ibang kotse. May bahay sa Dasmariñas. Di umano, nagre-rent. May bahay sa Forbes. Doon sa kanila yun. Sa Forbes. Sa kanila ro yun. At pagkatapos may bahay sa Quezon City, tatakbo pa ng congressman. Excuse me, ganun ba tayo kadali rito sa ating bansa? Nagugulat na lang siya, may Lexus bigla sa garahe niya. Dati meron siyang Escalade, Cadillac ng SUV. Excuse me. I think buksan namin, high-handed ba yan?
Yeah. So what kind of cases are you seeing? Because here's one interesting point of view that I've read is, you've went, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, in your hearings, you've gone through several challenges with existing laws. Like, for example, the very sources that have attended the Senate have used the Data Privacy Act and the Bank Secrecy Law, right?
The Data Privacy Act does not exempt criminals.
Okay.
Sinabi na mismo ng head ng Data Privacy Commission.
Oo.
Yung Bank Secrecy Act pwedeng buksan. Nagtataka lang ako, bakit anong ginagawa ng tinatawag nating money laundering?
Yung AMLAC. You mean the AMLAC?
Sabi ng data privacy rights should not be cited as excuse to evade legal proceedings. Yan ang sabi ni Raimundo Liboro.
Yeah.
So, malinaw yan.
Oo. Pero ang tanong ko nga dito, Senator, what about the AMLAC? I mean, we're talking about billions of pesos exchanging hands. At one point, I'm sure they've gone into the banking system. Has the AMLAC done its job? Ang ordinary Filipino, if you can't explain $10,000 deposit, the AMLAC will flag the bank. Ang tanong ko,
the bank will flag ARMA. The bank will flag AMLAC.
So what about this? We're talking about, with family
Billions.
alone, 9 billion.
Yes. Anong ginagawa nga ng AMLAC? Yun ang sinasabi ko. If the executive says he smells corruption, dapat, AMLA, gawin yan. The chairman of AMLA is a fellow alumnus of San Beda. Anong ginagawa ng DOJ? Kaibigan ko yung Secretary Menado Guevara. I think he's a very upright person. Siyempre, nasa cabinet siya. Pero tingnan mo, doon sa Amerika, yung Congress iniimbestiga yung dating kaibigan ni Trump, si Bannock, at ano nangyari? Ang mismong Attorney General ang nagsabi sa kanya, you can be cited for criminal contempt. Dito, meron tayong criminal contempt. Wala pa ako nakikita. Tabi lahat ang gumagalaw.
So malinaw po, it's like what you're saying is, President Duterte has made anti-corruption actually the landmark of his campaign for 2016, and yet now you're not seeing any of the agencies moving to actually investigate, file cases against PHARMALLY officials involved, considering billions of pesos are involved of the people's money.
Karen, lahat ng presidente ang issue graft and corruption. You know why? Walang nakukulong. Bihirang-bihira ang nakukulong. Sabi niya, whiff of corruption, pero ito, umaalingasaw na ito eh. Hindi pa gumagalaw. So ano sasabihin ng tao? Pinagtatiwalaan siya, alam ni Presidente ang ginagawa niya. Ninakawan na nga ang tao. Nabawasan na yung ayuda ng tao. Hindi na umabot yung gamit ng mga doktor at mga nurses. Hindi na nababayaran yung mga... Hanggang itong committee na ito, binabalik namin yung mga nurses sapagkat hindi pa nababayaran. Yung SRA ng mga healthcare workers na nakapain yung buhay, hindi pa nababayaran. Tapos itong mga ito, 9 billion, putong-puto, nakakotse ng Porsche, hindi incendiary yan. Totoo yan. Hindi pa binayaran ng tax ng kotse. O paano naman tayo tatahimik? Sila ang high-handed. Sila ang salabusab. Planned plunder yan.
Planned plunder. Now, Senator Gordon, at one point, the president, during his cabinet meetings, his live public addresses, he personally insulted you, hit you, kumbaga attacked you. And, you know, some would think that that kind of a message or a threat would silence you, soften you, make you at least back out for the safety of your family. But it seems you've gone you've gone all out. Did that affect you? Did his attacks affect you at one point?
Definitely, we're human beings. I'm a father who was assassinated. I come from a father. There were 3 attempts on his life. In the 3 years that he served in government, because he was cleaning up Olongapo, because of the bases there, ang daming pumasok dyan, everything from drugs to gambling, pinigilan tatay ko yan. At mismong chief of police na pinari niya, kasama sa nagpapatay sa kanya. 3 attempts on his life, kasama mga high officials of the government. What can I do? I studied law because my father was assassinated. Nag-aaral ako mag-abugo siya. Bakit hindi na-solve yung unang attempt? Binato siya ng granada, nahuli naman. Yung pangalawang attempt, nahuli rin. Pero yung small fish lang ang kinukulong. Yung big fish hindi nakukulong. Hanggang mamatay siya, hindi pa rin nakulong. Alam mo ba, sinunog pa yung bahay namin ng araw? Para lalabas ang tatay ko para tatapunan na naman ng granada sa zigzag so long ago. It's not a question of courage. You know, courage is something that you do because you conquer your fear. Because you have a higher goal to attain. Wala na tayong ganyan eh. It's just like the people in Bataan, yung mga bata nung araw nagpunta sa Bataan, walang kaduda-duda na iiyakan yung mga kapatid nila, mga magulang nila, but they went to Bataan. This is something that we have to do if we're going to be a self-respecting country. And if our leaders are not doing anything, ang mga tao dapat ang kikilos. Eh ba't kayo nanonood? O kayo manood lamang. Mag-analyze kayo kung mali ang ginagawa namin. Dapat ang magbumura sa amin, mga tao. Ang nagmumura sa amin, yung mga troll eh. Pare-pareho sinasabi. At bakit mo atakin yung personality ko? Wala ka naman ma-issue sa akin kundi personality. Mataba ako, keso ganito ako. Yung mataba, magagawa ko ng paraan. Pero yung pangit, hindi ko na magagawa ng paraan. Alam niyo na kung sino ang pangit.
Now, Senator, do you believe that the president has failed on his promises? Because when he started in 2016, you were not opposition exactly. You actually supported him on some measures.
I voted for Grace Poe. Excuse me.
Okay.
I have always been open about that. I am no hypocrite. I'm a lawyer. He is a friend. Pag tinawag ka ng presidente, pupunta ka. Pero wala akong hinihingi sa kanya na untoward. At sinasabihan ko pa siya, bakit mo naman pinabayaan si Marcos ma-promote pa? Yung si Marcos na pumatay doon sa mayor ng Leyte. Sinabi ko sa kanya yan. Doon nagsimula ang mga lamat na huwag naman ganyan. Walang tigil. Hindi ako kumikibo. Pero pagdating doon sa investigasyon, halimbawa dyan, alam mo, pinapalabas pa ng mga kasama ng kabila na ako raw kumampi kay President. I cannot come out kung hahanapan mo ng tattoo yung tao. Hindi ebidensya yung tattoo eh. Papahubarin mo yung tao, ay anak niya, sasabihin convicted ka dahil ikaw tried ka, walang ebidensya yun eh. Kung naandun na sila, alam mo sama ng loob ko doon, nilabas nila yung mga pulis, pangalawa si Matobato. And later on, they put a witness, si Sergeant na ngayon nandun sa criminal court of, International Criminal Court. Ang problema ko, tinawag ko yung Davao Death Squad na sinasabi. Pinag-aarap ko sila. Nung gabi, nung tawagin ko na si Bato-Bato para magharap, itinakbo eh.
Okay.
Nagkaroon ng lungkot kay Senator De Lima at saka kay Senator Trinidad. Ba't mo tinakbo? Nag-iimbestiga tayo dito. Eh, sabi niya, delikado na, gabi na. Alam niyo,
Okay.
patunayan ninyo. Tapos sasabihin niya, baka Duterte. No way. No way.
Last na to before we go to a quick break and change the topics we're going to discuss. You have led and been in so many Senate Blue Ribbon investigations. You describe this as planned plunder, but how would you describe the magnitude of the PHARMALLY deals compared to the other deals that have been uncovered by the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee in terms of the magnanimity of the possible anomalies of the deal?
These are black marks in our country. Drugs investigation involving policemen, involving customs officials. We investigated and we came out with evidence. People stealing 50 million. Nagpa-plunder sila doon sa uhuli nila. Tapos hihingihan pa nila. Nakakulong yan. Natanggal yung ex-marine, si Captain Faeldo, nakulong yon. Ano ba ang gusto ng tao? Hindi ko naman pwedeng sabihin, wala naman akong NBI. Utusan ko yung NBI, susunod mo sa akin. But the point is, how do I describe this? It is bad. It is worse. I can call it any, hyperbolic names. Pero kung hindi gagalaw, wala tayong magagawa? No, may magagawa tayo. Sindihan natin, paypayan natin hanggang mahuli ang mga yan. Hanggang makulong yung mga yan. Alam nyo, as far as I'm concerned, put it in context. Ang konteksto nito, Karen, nagkakamatay ang mga tao. We're reaching 50,000 people who have died in this country. There are people who are suffering in hospitals without oxygen. I know. I worked 53 years in the Red Cross as a volunteer. I put up the molecular laboratory. Nagulat sila, ba't tayo papasok yan? And yet, it was quite successful. We hit 5 million. More than any agency. Yung susunod sa amin, 1 million lang. Kami, 5 million. I know what it feels na tatawagan ka ng tao. Sir, pasok niyo ako sa ospital. Puno na ho lahat ng ospital. And yet, 9 billion. 9 billion, nangungutang tayo sa China para gawa yung Kaliwa Dam. 9 billion pesos. 9 billion, what will it get us? We can buy a flight of jets perhaps so that we could show China that we're doing something. To me, it's the context. Ang konteksto nito, nagkakahirap ang tao, may pandemya, kinana nila, I use the word kinana, pangkalyan, kinana pa nila, kinulimbat nila. Ginawa nilang mandarambong lahat yung ginawa nilang kasalanan sa tao. Dapat mahuli yan. At sino kasama? Yung mismong finance, yung kanyang economic advisor. Si Michael Yang ang napanay sunod-sunod na sinungaling. Na yung bata ni Michael Yang, si Lincoln Ong, ang engineer, at kasama niya, itong si Dargani. Na talagang, kita mo, sunod-sunod na sinungaling, tumatakas pa. Sino naman ang maniniwala dyan na talagang napakatanga naman na ng mga senador? Napakatanga ko naman na, wala na akong mukhang ipapakiharap kung ako titiklop dyan. Hindi ako titiklop sa korupsyon. Sabi ng kaibigan ko si Joker, pag bad ka, lagot ka. Kay Gordon, pag corrupt ka, kulong ka. And I've proven that.
So are you expecting, before the break, just quickly, are you expecting any kind of justice to be handed out under this administration, frankly speaking, or the Filipino people would have to wait for the next president?
No, we don't wait for the next president. We can do it even if you have a bad president in office. Because the evidence is so overwhelming. Dapat lalabas-labas yan. Ang problema sa atin, tatagalan lang nila yan eh. Siyempo lang yan. Pag nakalimutan na ng tao, pati media nakatunganga, pati tao nakatunganga, nakalimutan na, ayaw mo na, ang dami natin problema. Talagang ganyan ang buhay natin. Yun talagang ganyan ang salita ng Pilipino na dapat maalis natin. Kailangan hindi pwede. Kailangan ikukulong mo. Ang problema wala eh. Kaya hindi na naniniwala ang tao. Kaya ang tao, ine-entertain na natin para tayong mga Romans ng araw. Bigyan mo ng bread at saka circus.
You have uncovered a racket, apparently. It's also the LTO Region 7, a racket against 5 motorcycle dealers, and you've already called on the BIR to file tax fraud charges against them. But these 5 motorcycle dealers, it's quite alarming what they have been actually doing, this particular racket. Can you explain this, Senator, and how it relates to the possible crimes that we've been seeing right now?
Hindi ba siniraan ako yung doble plaka? Sino nag-finance niyan? Yung mga mayayaman na may motor na gwapo sila, ayaw nila ng plaka na malaki. Hindi naman malaki yung plaka eh. Hindi naman dalawa yun eh. Sticker lang yung sa harap. Pero sa rank and file, yun ang pala ang malaking racket. Lahat ng mga dealer, ayaw yan. Because pag nabili ka ng motorsiklo, in my law, the motorcycle law, that was done 3 years ago, you have to give them the registration papers within 5 days. So may hawak yon, may lien lang yon. So hindi niya pwedeng itakbo yung motorsiklo, hindi niya pwedeng ibenta, at hindi mo rin pwedeng kunin kung dealer ka kung hindi ka pupunta sa court ang tinatawag nilang REPLEVIN, Recovery of Personal Property.
Yeah.
Ang ginawa ng LTO, nagkaroon sila ng grupo na itong mga dealers, sila ang lalakad ng papel.
Mali yun.
Mali talaga. Because hindi nila i-rehistro yun. Dahil kung hindi nila i-rehistro, kahit na natutulog ka sa bahay mo, babatakin nyo, wala kang papakitang papel. Kahit maraming instances, kinausap yung anak na binatilyo, kinuha na lang yung motorsiklo. So maraming natuwa dyan sa mga motorcycle riders na bakit nga naman ganon. Eh, yun ang batas eh. Hindi naman nila sinusunod. Gumagawa sila ng paraan. Parang PHARMALLY yan. Ang favorite, si PHARMALLY. Dito, yung mga dealers, ang favorite, alam mo na, sa dami ng nakukuha nilang pera, kaya nilang lagyan ng langis lahat yung mga tao sa masasama. Ilan yan sa LTO. Sabi nga doon sa kwan, ba't isa lang ang nagsuplong? Eh, paano? Hindi naman umaangal yung iba dahil masarap ang tugtugan.
Oo. So to be fair, itong LTO Region 7, the official there, actually exposed this. And the 5, ito tanong ko sir, itong DoExam Inc., Desmarketing, it all sounds like it's one company with, it's familiar.
One family actually.
One family, Premio Corporation, Destrong, that's 5 companies, but they all are similar. So you said it's one company. They're illegally charging exorbitant interest rates. They're denying buyers of proper ownership registration documents and cheating the government of taxes.
That's
Itong
correct.
5 kumpanya. Anong racket ng 5 kumpanya na ito kapag bumili ka ng motor, sir?
Pag bumili ka ng motor, hahawakan na ang batas natin malinaw. Yung ginawa ko, within 5 days, you have to give them the registration papers para may hawak siya. Kasi kung wala yun, haharangin ka ng PNP, haharangin ka ng Highway Patrol, haharangin ka ng kahit sino. No? Kung minsan, wala kang registro, meron ho akong papel dito, production, parang gano'n. Hindi tatanggapin niya, papapuntahin ka sa ibang lugar, i-impound yung motorsiklo mo hanggang maglagay ka. Yan ang nangyayari. Ito masama. Nagagamit yung motorsiklo sa crime.
Yes.
Pag ninakaw yung motorsiklo na wala, sabihin ninakaw, ginamit, tapos iniwan na lang, nakapatay na. There have been, since 2016, there have been...
riding in tandem deaths.
In tandem.
Crimes.
5,132 all the way to 2020, 21 na ngayon, 19,277 riding and tandem crimes perpetrated.
19,000?
Yes. Ang murder, 7,123. 7,000 ang namamatay na walang kalaban-laban. Sasakay sa motorsiklo, kung isa papasokin ka sa bahay, tatakas ka sa motorsiklo, wala kang makita. Under the Gordon law, pag nakita mo yung motorsiklo o walang plaka, pwede mong i-report. Kung nawalan ka ng motorsiklo, within I think 5 days, you have to report it to LTO or to the police. At sabihin, ito, nawawalang plaka ito para pag ginamit, malalaman ka agad. Kung hindi, masasama ka kung may namatay doon sa motorsiklo mo. So may responsibility ang tao mag-report para matigil ang riding and tandem. Hindi pa rin matitigil ang buyan dahil maglalakas loob yan eh. Pero sa totoo lang, pagka meron ka niyan, you take a bite out of crime. at you take a bite out of corruption by making sure that they register it. It is in the interest of the country and the public to make sure that the plaka is there. Tanong ko sa iyo, Karen, ilan na ang may bagong plaka? Yan nagsimula pa 2006 kundi ako before 2016. The last administration, they decided they would change the plates. Hindi natutuloy yun. Ang masamang racket, tatlo yung inimbestigo ngayon sabay-sabay yan Yan ang lumabas sa investigation na hindi pinapairal yung batas na 5 days may bigyan ng plaka o registration. Ang isa pang lumabas dyan, naipit mismo ang LTO, nagbabigay sila ng plaka, binigay nila sa isang kumpanya, na isang foreign company.
Yes. Yeah.
Pero yung program o yung QR code, hindi niya ibibigay sa susunod na manalo. Kaya kung may manalo na bidding na gagawa, hindi nila ibibigay yon dahil meron silang proprietary rights. So, sino ang talo? Talo ang tao, wala kang bagong plaka.
Oo. But then there's other than that particular issue in terms of the system of it is the danger that motorcycles are being sold without proper registration.
That is correct. Hindi na nagpaparehistro.
Would you know why this particular family who owns 5 companies dealing all these motorcycles, who are they connected to be getting away with this for years now?
You know, I'm aware that there are some high personalities in Davao that are coddling these families. But I don't have the exact evidence. Meron akong alam na may ebidensya pero lalaki ang sabi niya. Kasi ang hinahabol, yung tao nagsuplong sabi niya, sige, kasuhan niyo ako at ilalabas ko ito. Hindi niya mailabas dahil may rason. No? Pero pag lumabas yan, another skandalo yan. Malaki.
Could it be, Senator, my last question is that the motorcycles sold by these 5 dealers are smuggled into the country?
That's possible, but what is happening is this. Pag kinuha mo yung motorsiklo, binawin nito mga ito, palilinis lang yan ng konti, pipintura ng konti, the same process repeats itself all over again. Wala naman nakarehistro So bibenta nila yung same one. Ang laki ng interest yan. Madadali talaga yung motorsiklo yung mahirap na nangangarap. Ganito how it starts. Uy, honey, yung kapitbahay natin may motorsiklo, hindi na sila namamasahe. Sasakay na lang ako sa'yo, dadalhin na ako sa opisina. Mag-aambisyo ka kayo, bibili ka ng motorsiklo. Pag hindi ka nakabayad, hihilahin yung motorsiklo mo na wala kang kalaban-laban, dahil wala kang papel. Denulation law na 5 days kailangan nakarehistro na. Papers ka na. Yun ang nangyayari. Under the gun, ang mahirap.
All right. Now, I hope to interview you about this. You will come out with a report pretty soon. But just to close, may nanonood rin, sinabi yung mga walang plaka, yun ang nakakasagasa and they get away with it. But just to close, your last statement is it was Volunteers Day and you paid tribute to Filipino humanitarian workers. You're a known volunteer yourself. And I guess what is your last message, Senator Gordon, as we close, because we do have an inflation report coming up today.
My last message with regards to our country and
Yes,
the pandemic.
and it was Volunteers Day. You did give a message.
Oh yeah. The other day, December 5, was International Volunteer Day. We launched the Red Cross going to 2022, which will be the diamond year of the Philippine Red Cross.
Yeah,
A proud country we are because 75 years ago, we became other countries 158 years ago. Tayo 75 years ago. Gusto ng mga revolutionary natin na masali tayo. Hindi tayo nasali. Pero ngayon, ang volunteers natin sa Red Cross, 2 million of them, they're all working hard. Kagabi may sunog sa Bacoor, fire trucks ng Red Cross na andon, ambulansya ng Red Cross na andon. We put out hot meals on wheels. Araw-araw nangyayari yan. Nagbibigay tayo ng pera sa kapatid natin Muslim sa Lanao. Naggagawa tayo ng bahay ngayon sa Albay. Tatapusin yung 147 houses doon. And we have built how many houses? 151,000 houses all over the country since I took over the Red Cross.
Well, mga kasangga, alam na dis. Baka naman, pwede na mag-like, mag-share, at mag-comment. Diyos tiyagina, Apo. Hanggang sa muli!